Didn't hear it. You see it?
Good morning. This is WCSS 1490 in Amsterdam, New York, and this is the show with no name for Friday, October the 10th, 2014. Wow. And it's almost over.
That's right. It's half over.
Yeah.
Wow.
More than half.
More than half.
More than half over.
Wow.
No, it's more than 28 days in the month.
No, I'm talking about the whole year.
Oh,
2014.
Time's phone, you're having flies.
Yes.
Wow.
So, anyway, this is the show with no name. I'm Bob Going with Jim Nikosha and Gavin Murdoch. I guess people are getting a little sensitive about that county budget.
They sure are.
That fee, which really is fee, the word fee is misspelled. It's supposed to be TAX because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's
So
a tax.
here's the thing. You know, they were selling this, or at least in the preliminary discussions before their unanimous vote the other night, they were selling this as, well, with this new fee, we can keep real property taxes down. Well, they raised the real property tax to the maximum allowed by law, in addition to the new tax.
Yeah.
So come on. I got to say, I'm extremely disappointed in the form of government, the results of the form of government that I helped install last year, I'll tell you.
But it's not a done deal yet.
It's not a done deal.
They can still change everything, right. But they unanimously adopted a budget that raises the taxes when we're already the highest in the country.
Well, if you don't raise them, we're not going to stay there.
Yeah.
We won't be the highest.
Well, how many of these guys are up for election?
This year, none.
None of them this year?
No, none of them for the next 2 years.
2 years?
Well, no, next year Pertel will be up, but you can't blame him.
No.
Oh, yeah, I guess you can. He was there. Was he there for the vote? I guess he was.
Yes, he was. He said he was going to be there for the vote.
Yeah, lucky him. Okay, now we'll denounce him.
No, well,
I bet Andy Cadell wouldn't have voted that way. No, it's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. If you're in a position where you have to raise the taxes to balance the budget, you don't start adding positions, which they also did. So I'm disgusted, absolutely disgusted.
Disappointed?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they could have stayed home and mailed in that vote. If you're going to raise the taxes the maximum you're allowed, what thought does that require?
and then add a fee.
What effort does that make? How come the solid waste disposal is going up by huge amounts when they got rid of MOSA? The whole point of getting rid of MOSA was to save money. The tipping fees are supposed to be substantially less.
Did they go up? I haven't heard. I haven't paid that much attention to it, but
No.
you know, what still amazes me is that we have a local place that buys newspapers and cardboard and recycles it into insulation for homes.
Yeah.
And they're paying people for it.
Right.
And we're paying people to take ours
Yeah.
instead of the people paying us
To take ours.
to take it.
Yeah.
And at one time, they were willing to put up bins around the city for people to put their recycled newspapers.
Oh, heaven forbid. Heaven forbid.
Yeah.
And that's not the only outrageous news since we last met on Tuesday.
There's more?
Yeah, there's more. How about the fire department has already used up its overtime budget for the year? And this is let's see, August, September, October. We're 2.5 months into our fiscal year, and they've already used $50 of the $60,000 allotted for overtime for the year. And why? Because there were all these major fires. They had to call these guys in. No, because they've instituted or continue to institute minimum manning, which is not part of the.
We don't have minimum manning.
It's not in the contract. It's not in the contract, and yet our new fire chief apparently is pushing both the mayor and the common council to the limit by doing what he feels like and calling in people on overtime when there's no requirement that they be called in overtime.
That's right.
It's absolutely outrageous. If I were the mayor, I'd fire him on the spot. If you can't control your overtime budget, then get out.
Yeah, I had someone ask me yesterday if we had minimum manning, and we don't.
We do not.
We do not.
The only time it went before the Common Council, it was rejected.
Yes, because Gloversville had it.
Yeah.
And they said they wanted to do the same thing, and we said no.
Yeah.
We said no.
Over and over it's been said
Over and
no.
over. Yeah.
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 So,
I mean, Chief Baldine used to tell me that the reason they have 8 men on a shift is to accommodate this, because people are going to be out, people are going to be sick, people are going to be on vacation, people are going to be taking their Kelly days, and that's all figured in. You know, every time there's a fire, everybody gets called in for overtime. All the firemen get paid extra to be on call. Okay, they're on call, so you don't need 8 guys to respond to a fire. You need the minimum number to set the hoses up while the other guys show up.
Exactly.
Come on, this is ridiculous.
Go back to
absolutely ridiculous, and then they take turns taking days off, and Baldine used to schedule the Kelly days and such so that he would have guys on staff all the time.
Yes.
And that's called management, something that this administration seems to know nothing about. You know, so it's crazy. And of course, immediately the CSEA representative on the Common Council said, "Well, we got to give it to him."
To me, that is a conflict of interest.
Yeah, come on.
With a council member.
Speaking of disappointments,
in charge of a union.
Yep.
And the same thing with the county. We got one there too. There should be something in the law that they could not. He's wearing 2 hats.
Yeah,
he's wearing 2 hats, and that's against the law.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to.
It's not a direct conflict of interest, but it's a de facto conflict of interest. You better believe it.
Definitely.
All right.
Suppose it was at night.
We got this call for us. Is that for us?
I think so.
I think so.
This is WCSS. You're on the air.
Hey, Bob, this is a radio check. West Stockbridge, right across the border.
West Stockbridge, Massachusetts? You're in the Berkshires and you're picking us up?
Yeah,
wow.
Loud and clear.
Wow. Yep. That's a lovely place. We're going through there tomorrow. The colors in peak yet or what?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Let you know.
All right. Yeah, Louise is running a half marathon in Boston over the weekend, so we'll be heading through the Berkshires tomorrow.
Going to be nice.
Supposed to be nice.
Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to be good.
Yeah.
I'll be heading down I-88 this weekend, so we'll see how they've done down there.
Why are you going on 88?
I gotta go take my grandson home from SUNY, from St. Rose. He's going to go home for a couple days, so I'm going to take him down.
Right. This is Columbus Day weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I didn't even realize it till yesterday, and somebody said Monday.
Wow.
I didn't know.
So we got the day off Monday.
Some people do.
Yeah.
Some people have to work.
You got to work? You get paid extra for that, though, don't
No, I don't. I don't work on Mondays.
Oh. Well, the way you said it, it sounded like you had to work.
No, that's why.
No,
I don't have to work.
Right.
Some people do, though.
Have we decided whether we're going to do a Monday show yet or not?
I think we need to discuss that.
We might be doing Monday at 10 o'clock, but we haven't decided it yet.
10 to 12.
Well, whatever. We haven't really.
We have the upper hand in this negotiation.
We do?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm holding out for double pay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I'll go with that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Is that what they call double or nothing or double nothing?
Yeah. 843-2500 is the number. Probably a better call because I'm so riled up. I'm just going to start screaming.
Did you hear what happened to the Frog's car that was double parked the other day?
The whose car?
The Frog.
The Frog?
Yeah.
Who are you referring to as the Frog?
No, it's got to be
Frog.
It's got to be a joke.
Okay. The Frog's car was double parked.
What happened to it?
I don't know what.
It got towed.
Oh, that was not. No. So you
I stole that.
You
Of
stole
course.
that one.
I stole that from NCIS the other night.
That was on NCIS?
Yeah.
Yes.
That joke was on NCIS?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. They've reached the bottom.
Yeah, they told it.
That joke was in Boy's Life in 1943.
Probably was.
Yeah.
I just didn't remember it from 1943, but I remember it from Tuesday.
What are you eating grits? How many? About 6 or 7?
There's a light flash north there might be for us.
Anybody giving you the high sign?
You don't have
No,
to.
but he's talking to people back there, so.
This is WCSS. You're on the air.
Good morning, boys.
Hey, what's up?
This is a town of Perth councilman. I got to agree with you guys. I don't normally agree with you, but this tax on the automobile is a not fair tax.
That's
if you're
right.
Going to tax, you tax the whole community.
That's right.
An abomination.
But it's
I
easier
don't
for you.
care if
You're
you
over
ride
the
a
line.
bus. I don't care if you ride a bus or what. You're going to use the damn highway.
That's true.
They should just do a head tax. Everybody in the city pays.
Yeah.
Yep. So I agree with you guys 100%.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now, here's the other thing. Of course, as Joe correctly pointed out on the last program, the law hasn't been written yet. As supposedly the money is to be used for infrastructure repairs and such. Okay. We have a similar thing in the state of New York. We have a gasoline tax, which is
Yes, we do.
which is applied for the purpose of improving our highways. Well, guess what? The gasoline tax brings in one hell of a lot more than they spend on the highways.
That's right.
And
they don't spend it.
and it just goes right into the general fund and is used for everything else. It's used for to subsidize the subways in New York because those people don't buy gas and it's not fair.
Legislative salaries.
It's a gimmick.
Well, actually, what do you mean it's not fair? It subsidizes the subways, and
that
they're
makes it fair.
they're not even paying the tax in the first place.
But that makes it a fair.
Yeah.
Well,
Earlier today, I don't know if you were listening, they had one of our local politicians on. Well, it's politician season, election season.
Yeah. Okay.
And there were quite a number of calls that came in to this politician. And I should have known. I should have known that he had gone to the Fred Astaire School of Dance because he's danced for the half hour. All right. And for every problem that was brought up of problems that exist in the area, jobs, attraction, whatever, every answer came out was going to be a program. There's going to be a bill that was going to be passed. And of course, as we all know, every time a bill is passed, it's money that we're spending on something.
Yeah.
There was none of the answers indicated that they were going to spend less money and cut back on some of the things that have been created in order to save money.
Right.
and he hasn't come up with an initiative for our particular area either. Except the bridge.
Well, we always got.
Except the bridge.
We've always got initiatives. We've got boards and conferences and all this stuff, and it's all baloney.
Yes, it is.
Why don't you ask the people who moved out of here why they moved? Both the companies and the people.
They don't want to talk to us.
Yeah, well, we should have an
Exit poll.
Exit. Well,
Pay as you exit.
exit interview.
Exit interview.
Exit interview.
Scrambled or sunny
we should
side
stop
up.
every moving van every rental moving van on the way out of town and
right.
say, why are you moving out?
Why are you moving?
And make them pay us half of what they're going to save.
As a matter of fact, we ought to get Joe Riley on here. Get Joe Riley probably talks to all these people.
That's right.
And we say, Joe,
He would know.
Get Joe in here and say, Joe, why are people using your service to move out of town? Why are they leaving? All right.
Yeah, which service?
Well, I'm talking about the moving service.
I thought-
If you're moving, call Joe. If you're not, call Frank. Right. Speaking of Bob Kaiser, his Aunt Liz died the other day. I saw in the paper. I think she was about 97. You may find this hard to believe if you know any members of the Kaiser family, but she was quite a pip, let me tell you.
Yeah, definitely. It's hereditary.
She lived most of her life down in the Middleburg area, but for a while she was at the Park Hill Adult Home when it was on Grove Street, and I don't remember what the circumstances were, but she called me up one day, and I went down to visit her, and it was fun. I don't think I'd ever met her before, but she knew everybody in my family, and I knew everybody in her family, so we had a nice chat. I haven't the slightest idea why she called me, now that I think about it. But it was fun, but she was a pip. She was a pip. Yeah. She definitely had.
Was she in his corner?
She had the Kaiser genes. I think that makes her related to Diane Hale Smith, speaking of pips. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, Diane's got Kaiser genes in her. Yeah, she's related.
Yeah? Ooh.
She's probably listening. She'll call and deny it.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
All our firemen are code enforcement.
They're paid. They're paid for it.
All right. I mean, they've all had the training to do code enforcement.
Oh, I'm not sure whether they have or not.
Didn't they, when they go to school?
I'm not sure. I'm not. I don't have the answer to that.
Okay. But why don't they? We have so many code violations in the city. Why don't they do code violations or
No, I don't
code
know.
inspections?
That was.
They used to.
That was one of the things that.
They used to.
Yeah. I remember.
When I was on the department.
Well, that's what I'm thinking back in the ancient days. I remember every couple of years they'd come by, the firemen would go through the neighborhood.
Yep.
And they'd say, well, you really need to get the house painted. You got to get these.
We used to go on inspections.
This clutter out of the back hall and things like that. And it was pretty thorough.
Yeah. We used to go out.
And frankly, it was helpful because.
You miss stuff.
You do. You don't notice stuff if you're living with it every day. Is this house is the building shaking? What's going on here?
Must be somebody running a fork truck upstairs or something.
Fork. Mr. Rivera does not look anxious, but he's running out of here with a panic look on his face. Well, I mean, we've had earthquakes.
Yes.
At least three or four since I've been in my house. So.
Well, you're still up in the house. You're still up on your street there. It's not down on Phillip Street yet, so you're all right.
No, I know, but I don't know whether I sit on bedrock or what, but I think that makes a difference because there was one earthquake that was like in Maine, and a lot of the city didn't feel it at all, but my house shook good. The first one was right after we moved in. I don't think we'd been in the house a month. 33 years ago, whatever it was. And that den that we made the Fultman studio for a while for the podcast, we had the TV in there at that time and a couch, and I think I'm home all alone. In fact, I was usually home alone when the earthquake hits, and I explain it to people afterwards, and they look at me. But it's true. Anyway, so I'm in that room, and you're familiar with that room, and I hear this rumbling sound. And it sounds like there's a big heavy truck going up the street right outside my window. And then I remember I'm on the back side of the house. there's no street for a quarter of a mile in that direction. Well, it was an earthquake. And another time it was 6 o'clock in the morning, and we just had 2 kids at the time, so it was and the windows are rattling and the furniture's shaking, and I got up and I grabbed Bobby out of his crib and grabbed Anna out of her room. Who knows? In the first few seconds, you don't know what's going on.
Right.
You don't know if the house is going to come collapsing down around you. And the third time I'm on my couch. Again, I'm on the couch. I spent a lot of time on the couch. So I'm in the living room, and the first sound is the swinging.
Chandelier.
Love seat on the porch. All of a sudden, it's swinging wildly, and there's nobody out there. And then the couch I'm in starts going back and forth.
Rock and roll is here to stay.
Holy moly! Scary stuff.
Yeah.
It used to happen every time my mother went to California. It was.
Did she bring it back with
They
her?
finally asked her not to come back.
California.
Yeah, she brought it. There was one that was epicenter was the epicenter of the earthquake was right where there's this sky lift thing that goes up a mountain outside of Palm Springs someplace down in that area, and she was on it. And she was claustrophobic, so she's riding this. I don't think she probably wanted to ride this car up the mountain to begin with. 14 hours after she got off it, that was the epicenter. If she had been on it when it starts going,
that would have been the end. Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, that's where we are. This is WCSS 1490 in Amsterdam, New York, 843-2... Here's a rumble again. 843-2500 is that number. Things are actually shaking here, folks. I don't know how it is for you.
I watched the council meeting Tuesday.
How was that?
Did you watch it live or?
No, I saw it on TV. But
No, I mean, you saw it on TV live or
live? Yeah.
Okay.
That they finally got some information from the Recreation Department for
there you go.
Diane.
Well, there you go.
And you know what amazes me is it took her and Dave Dibus so many months to get this information, and there's such a turmoil about it. Why didn't they give it to her right away? Why did they
It's
carry
a power
this
play.
out?
It's a power play. Yeah.
I mean, who did it make look bad? Diane or Recreation?
Oh, for the amount that people pay attention, it probably made Diane look bad.
And it wasn't her fault. If they had the information, they just didn't want to give it to her.
Well, the controller should be supplying that information, regardless. It's part of the controller's duties, unless they were changed in that local law that Jerry snuck through last year.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Anyway,
It's for you, Bob.
this is WCSS. You're on the air.
Hello, I had to call and say I'm very proud to have those Kaiser jeans.
Yeah, I thought you probably
Good
did.
Swiss stock, very Swiss and German people, and healthy, long-living, wholesome people.
Now, did you know Liz?
Oh, yes. I was very, I visited her here when she was in Park at the nursing home here. And then she went off to Castleton to a nursing home, and I kind of lost track of her, and I couldn't attend the funeral. But I know a lot of the family members did, and that's why I called. You kept calling her a Pip. Her name, her whole life, was Pep. Peppy.
Is that right?
I mean it. Did you know that? That was her nickname.
No, I did not know that. Or else,
Peppy,
or else
and when you said a Pip, I thought you were trying to say Peppy, but that was her name, and she,
Peppy,
she was a great woman.
Peppy,
really
she
great.
was. I mean, I probably met her when she was 92 or something like that.
Well, I'm going to send you the original Kaiser family ancestral photo. I will email it to your Facebook page so you can see what good stock we were. 9 children.
And how were you related to her? A cousin of some sort, or?
Yes, a distant cousin. Yeah.
Probably not that distant at her age,
I think Robert and there are probably 22 second cousins twice removed. People would always laugh because I would have to reach out there to get more family, So I would always count those 22 second cousins twice removed. And we used to have great, wonderful, we'd have reunions, family reunions, and I kind of miss that, but, suddenly I have gone from being the baby of the family to being the matriarch here.
There you go. Matriarch Diane. Yeah.
How did that happen? I was the baby here.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Times are going along. But I just thought I would say the Kaiser genes are something you can be really proud of.
You think you're a matriarch? Jim here is a great-great-grandfather.
Wow.
To put this in context, my great-great-grandfather died in 1879.
It's amazing, isn't it? Well, anyway, I thought I would just call and say that the Kaiser genes are genes to be proud of.
Okay, I'll pass it on to Kaiser's Corner. All right.
Oh, yeah, they know that.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See?
Yeah, I knew I'd flush her out. 843-2500 is the number. This is WCSS in Amsterdam, New York. You're listening to the show with no name. So I was up at 3:30 this morning or so. The wife was away, so it doesn't matter what time I sleep. I get up, I go to only the dog cares. I get up, he thinks it's time to go out or time to eat.
My son posted on his Facebook page, Throwback Thursday, a photos of when my 2 oldest boys were just babies, and wow, I was looking at those pictures, and the people that were there that are no longer here.
Oh yeah.
So, it's really amazing.
Yeah.
Jimmy was probably year and a half, 2 years old. Michael was probably just 1 year old. So
Yeah.
the 1950 something.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
I was looking at the my classmate Debbie Dato was in town for a couple of days last week, and she was showing me this huge family portrait of basically her father's side of the family, but they're cousins with the Swarzowskis, Father Stan and all those people, and there's probably 40 people in this picture. And Father Stan is in the picture. He's probably 10 years old in the picture. He's the only one alive. He's the only one alive in the whole picture.
Yeah.
Huh? And I'm looking around. I say, I knew this one. It's all gone. That's what happens. You walk through the cemetery on Memorial Day. It's like walking through the old neighborhood.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. That happens. It's still rumbling here, by the way, folks. I don't know how you're doing, but we're getting our third aftershock here.
They must be moving something upstairs. Yeah.
As long as they're not moving upstairs to downstairs.
Yeah, right.
Unless that's Joe in the back room with gas or something.
Yeah, well, it could be. Wow. That's the best you can do, huh?
That's it.
All right. Yes.
Our local politician who was on earlier, we'll go back to that. One of the callers asked about his viewpoint on hydrofracking.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he dodged that too, I'll bet.
Yeah. in a word, yes, he did. Yeah,
not a congressional issue.
I bet you took him 5 minutes to do it.
It was. He talked about all the studies that need to be done and completed because you've got water that's used from it and what it puts into the ground. He also got into the pipeline that needs to be studied and how it can't go
still
to
needs
certain
to be
places.
Studied, huh?
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. They started it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Canadians are building a pipeline from their Midwest to New Brunswick, where the oil will then go on tankers to the Gulf of Mexico.
That's right, all the way around us.
All the way around.
Yes.
All the way around.
We derive no economic.
I saw a figure. It was just astronomical, and I wish I had the numbers in front of me. But the number of rail cars transporting oil from year to year, it is absolutely amazing. We're transporting like 5,000 times more oil by freight car than we did 5 years ago.
And that was addressed as well. That we need to ensure the safety, and we have to study.
Yeah.
Study.
Let me tell you, pipeline is a hell of a lot safer all the way around than transporting it 3,000 miles.
But
by car.
But the number of accidents they've had with oil tankers, railroad tankers, in comparison to how many have traveled, is pretty small.
Oh, of course it is. And so is the number of leaks on the pipelines compared to the amount of oil that's going through them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But whatever it is, they're against it. We just got to anything that will reduce the price of energy and make the country more prosperous, they're against it. Who do you think is behind all that?
And he's right there at our party line, right down the party line. He doesn't deviate from
one of the callers.
And who do you think is benefiting from this rail transporting the oil by rail?
Big business. Not
just big business. A big Democrat, Warren Buffett, who brought his Burlington Northern and Santa Fe Railroad private a few years ago. And as soon as it does, Obama stops that Keystone project, and all this oil that's being shipped is being shipped by Burlington Northern and Santa Fe Railroad cars, and it's all going to Warren Buffett's pocket.
Wow.
So who are we kidding? Who are we kidding here? And then Obama has the gall to be giving a speech at a $32,000 a plate fundraiser in Greenwich, Connecticut, at the home of billionaire Rich Richman. No kidding. Rich man, the billionaire, $32,000 a plate dinner, and he uses the occasion to denounce the Republicans as the party of the billionaires. You know, every time somebody says that to me, I said, off the top of your head, name 2 Republican billionaires. And
But you can name a couple of handfuls worth of
if
Democrats.
we can't, a couple of handful of Democratic billionaires. Name 2 Republican billionaires. You might be able to come up with one. Name 2.
Near the end of his time, a caller called up and said, you know, all the things you said are right off the Democratic playbook.
That's what I said.
Okay, he says you haven't said anything. It's just like every point that the Democrat. That's it. You've said nothing. We could have just read that and could have saved you time.
Yeah.
They could have.
Just hand us your talking points and
That's
be
right.
on with you.
Yep.
Go have a pancake breakfast somewhere. 2 to go.
But in spite of all that, I don't think the election's going to be close.
I don't know. I think
I hope
people
you're
are-
right, Jim, but I don't think it's going to be close.
Well,
Because there's just so many people, what's in it for me, and there's something that's in it for them.
yeah, you know, people say, you know, I think I said this before. People say they want a Carl Palladino, but when they get in the voting booth, they vote for a Paul Tonko so they can, you know, get taken care of personally. You know, that's it.
That's it.
We want to reduce the cost of government, except for me. You know, I had a very conservative friend. And back when he was in college, he said to me, in all sincerity, he said, there are only two proper expenditures for the federal government.
One?
National defense and aid to college students.
And he was
He happened to have been a college student at the time. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. But that's it. You know how you know. I was reading, you know, one of the most conservative districts in the country in Texas. The most conservative. The congressman has got 100% conservative voting record, but half his district is supported by federal government programs, and you know. And when it comes to sugar subsidies and closing bases and things,
Everybody
Get to
says, let's throw those bums out, but not mine.
but not mine.
Because my guy's a good guy.
Yeah, that may be the only advantage in the alderman at large issue. You can you can throw out some people. It's one of the things I liked about the county executive form of government is that, you know, if you're mad at the chairman of the board of supervisors and you want him thrown out, you got to live in his ward or you live in his town. And 14 other people will just get reelected, and then they'll reelect them. I mean, it has to be a tsunami election, like back when Aquari Park was an issue, where they threw everybody out.
I did a college paper on Aquari Park.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you find out?
Find out I didn't do as good a job as I thought. I only got a B+. Yeah, which wasn't bad for me. That was a pretty good grade for me. So, but it just, some things that term limits would be great.
Yeah.
In national office.
Yeah.
I mean, people would be more concerned about getting something done rather than doing something so I can come back and work.
In New Hampshire, they have a bona fide citizen legislature. It's huge. It's like 400 members of their House of Representatives, something like that.
How long does it last?
But they pay them like nothing. They pay them maybe $4,000 a year or something like that, and so it's not considered
a career.
Career.
It's not a
right.
It's not a livelihood.
And when you make it a career, that's what you get.
That's right.
Now,
A millionaire wants to be a millionaire.
the argument there's the argument goes both ways. Then you become a legislature of millionaires. Well, you know what? That's what you become anyway, when you get right down to it. That's WCSS. You're on the air.
Yeah, I got a question or a comment, and then I would like to have a follow-up if I could.
Oh, sure. Unless we don't like your question.
I understand that in 2018 that they're going to have to borrow money to make it up for the Social Security that they're going to pay the benefits. Am I right on that?
So far, that's what it looks like. Yep. I thought it was 2017 myself, but yeah, that's right. And nobody's addressing it.
All right. What I'd like to follow up with is this all come about with President Reagan when he was in. He gave the rich a payroll tax, or cut the taxes from 78% down to 28%. Then they turned around with Greenspan, and they finagled how they could send through the Social Security payroll tax. And what they did when they got that money, rather than put it into earmark it for the baby boomers, they stuck it into the general funds.
Well,
then after this, we had Clinton. He gets in and he brags about the big surplus he had. And what he did, he ran a $30 billion deficit, and he had to borrow from the Social Security fund, which was $99 billion at that time.
Yeah.
And he bragged about having, I think it was around $66 billion. George Bush, his son, paid for 2 wars. Now I don't know what's going on here with these Democrats, these Republicans. When they start after the Social Security, this was supposed to be for the people that, to keep us from desperation.
Yeah.
And I mean, what kind of country have we got here?
The pouring the Social Security trust funds into the general fund started with Lyndon Johnson. He's the one who separated it from being a genuine trust fund into something else. The Reagan tax cuts really had nothing to do with this. Whatever you might think of the tax cuts, I happen to think anything that leads to 8 years of prosperity can't be all that bad. But it had nothing to do with the Social Security. They did address the Social Security issue in the Reagan administration in the mid '80s, and that's when I had to wait an extra year to retire, and some other reforms were made. But the last few years are just spending money like crazy.
Well, so did
Obama spent more.
They all did.
Obama spent more money in his initial stimulus plan than the cost of the Afghanistan and Iraq wars over a 10-year period. So.
But when I'm talking about Social Security, I mean, this was supposed to protect the people. What the hell are they doing with our money? This is a payroll tax that was supposed to be earmarked under Reagan for the baby boomers. That's what he voted it for.
Yeah.
But then he turned around, and the whole bunch of them, one right after the other, he used this to pay off the debts that they run up and give big tax cuts to the rich people.
They've borrowed from the Social Security Trust Fund, which now consists of IOUs from the federal government.
They're worthless.
Yeah, but you know what?
They're worthless.
But it's been that way since the beginning of the program. But this is.
But I don't care whether it's been that way or not. It wasn't supposed to be like that back in 1933.
Yeah, but
it was supposed to save the country.
At no point did anybody ever make the system solvent. Reagan made it solvent for an extra 20 years or something like that. Somebody else before him had extended a little bit, but it comes by adding to the payroll taxes.
Come on now. He gave a big tax cut to the rich, and then he turned around and used the Social Security fund to make up his deficit. Who the hell are you trying to kid? All right, bye.
Yeah, well, maybe because I know what I'm talking about.
So you're using facts then, Bob,
I know.
to form an opinion.
Tell people it's things they don't want to hear. All right.
But ultimately, we're in that rock group now, right?
What's that?
We're in that rock group now. Dire Straits.
Yeah, there's any number of rock groups. I think you could probably
But
play that game.
We're
Wow. You ever go to one? You did go to Woodstock, you said, right?
yeah, but
Sort of.
So we were there, but we weren't there. We were there.
I've never been to anything like that.
No. You ever go to SPAC?
I've been to SPAC, but not for a rock concert. No.
No. What'd you go for?
No.
Bob.
Of course, we go.
Bob.
Many times I've gone for the ballet and the orchestra, of course. But as far as outside concerts, well, let's see. I went for the. Went to see Gordon McRae one time with the wife. Steve Martin. That's probably as close as it gets. Steve Martin. No one knew at the time that we were seeing one of his last stand-up shows ever. He did the King Tut tour.
Yeah.
What was that, like 25 years ago or more?
Yeah, it was just on TV last week.
The King Tut tour?
It's his version of the King Tut. Yeah, not the whole tour, but the King Tut.
Yeah. So he did the King Tut tour, and it was the last of his Wild and Crazy Guy act, as it turned out.
But he's still touring. Do you know what he does now while he tours?
Yeah, because I went to see him last year.
What does he do?
Mostly he sat in a chair and got interviewed, and then he took out the banjo. And played.
What a banjo player he is.
What a banjo player he is.
Absolutely wonderful.
World class.
Yes, he is.
World class. And a really talented guy.
Yeah.
Incredibly intelligent.
Because even while he's playing the banjo, you're still waiting for him to say something funny.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's great. I love watching him on YouTube. All the people put him up there.
He's fabulous.
Yep. Man of many talents.
His.
You know where he started, don't you?
Well, he started at Disneyland.
Writing. Yeah,
he did the Jungle Tour.
Who did he start writing for?
Let's see. It wasn't Dick Cavett, was it?
No.
Who was it?
Smothers Brothers.
Oh yeah. He actually started out at Disneyland in the magic shop there, and then he became the tour guide on the Jungle Tour. You can see him doing that too.
Yeah.
Well, that's not our shit. He did an autobiography a few years ago that was really great about his career, about developing his career. Yes?
Yeah.
This is WCSS. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning. If you ever want to see a great Steve Martin movie, the name of the movie is The Grand Canyon. He stars in it with Danny Glover.
Yeah, I think that's on Netflix. I flipping through the other day, and I think that's
It's got to be at least 20 years old, but it's a hell of a story, and he's in a serious role.
Yeah.
But it's a movie well worth watching.
Okay. All right.
Take care.
Yeah.
All right.
I haven't heard of that one. Grand Canyon.
Yeah, it's a serious picture, sort of.
I thought that's a radio station.
What?
I thought that's a radio station. Sirius.
Serious. That's for your car.
That's FX.
Oh, okay, that's something different.
I wonder how many customers they actually have. It comes free every time I get a car. I get
It's free.
Sirius for
Free
about
6 months.
for
Yeah.
3 months.
3
or
months.
then-
something.
Yeah.
And then it's gone. And then I hear from them. And every time they get a letter from them, it's cheaper and cheaper.
It's cheaper and cheaper, yeah.
But it's not what unless you're spending a lot of time in your car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It isn't worth it.
Because you get all the other programs
Yeah.
Yeah.
normally. Good old time rock and roll. Or quality talk show.
You want oldies? Turn to WCSS.
You want a talk show?
Want a talk
There
show?
you go.
Turn to WCSS.
So you didn't have to turn. You can just leave it.
You just leave it. Let's leave it on WCSS. We have news.
What's our number?
1490 on your radio dial, or if you're on your computer, WCSS1490.com.
And they let you call up too.
They do.
Yes.
843-2500.
There you go.
Area code 518. What's our country code for the United States for our friends overseas? Do you know?
I don't know. I've never called me. Did you ever call you?
I've called from overseas here, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, because I had to dial a 10-digit credit card number first.
Yeah, your calling card number.
I was thinking of you the other day about when you were you when you were in the old Soviet Union?
Yeah.
Were you there during the coup?
We took students there that summer, but we were home 10 days before the coup. Because we've always finished up in Moscow. So if we'd gone on the next group, we would have been there, and we could have gone down and stood on the tanks with Yeltsin.
Yeah.
If we wanted.
That's what I was
yeah,
thinking. I was
we
thinking
just
of
missed it.
Thinking of Yeltsin on the tank, and I'm thinking, geez, that was around the time you were. But it wasn't when you were stationed there.
No, not when I was teaching there. No, we had an exchange student from there during that time, and there were some issues about if she was going to able to go back home again afterwards because of what was going on. And we had also planned another trip with students for the following year that we kind of were wondering if it's going to be able to come to fruition or not because of what was going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
And now, I'm not sure exactly how the chain of my thought that got me to that, but it started off, I think, with the Gezelik Pamakai Funeral Home, and I've always been proud that I've been able to
pronounce
Gezelik Pamakai. Anyway, Ray Pamakai was a great guy, and he had a flock of white hair, and he looked like Boris Yeltsin, which no one noticed until Boris Yeltsin became a national figure. And I used to see him in the coffee shops and call him Comrade Yeltsin, and he was good-natured about it. But right after the tank, right after Yeltsin on the tank, I'm trying to think I forget what time of year that was or what, but it seems to me that it was at Cappy's.
It was in the summertime. It was beginning of August, I think it happened.
Oh, then it makes sense. So I pull up at Cappy's, and here's Pamakai sitting in the window having a hot fudge sundae or something. He looks out and he catches my eye, and I put my hands together and I mouth comrade, and he smiled and he gave me the same look back and said comrade. Yeah. But yeah.
It was, we had taken kids there previous to that and right after that during that time period in history, and it was always interesting to see how things changed. The first year we went, the entire trip was scripted because every place we went, they were waiting for us because it was all organized by the party. And as time went on, it got a little bit more loose there as far as the organization and the precision we had to be at certain places for because it wasn't controlled by the party anymore. So it was pretty neat. One place we went, there was 20,000 people waiting for us.
Wow.
Down Novichokhovsk, and because we were the first Americans that had been through their town since World War II, and it was like we were national heroes doing that. It was.
Have you seen that flash mob video of taking place in Moscow of them putting on the Ritz for somebody's wedding?
No.
And it's at a train station, and it ends up involving like 1,000 people, and it's absolutely amazing. Amazing. Anyway, and I'm thinking, and I watched that, and I say, this is not the way it was in 1956, I'll tell you. This is WCSS. You're on the air.
I just heard you mention ice cream, and I was wondering, tonight is pizza night and ice cream night. Is there any place in the area where you think I could be able to go to get a good pizza and some ice cream?
Sure. My only word of caution is that you try to get there early because if you're going to go to the place, which is Crystalline Forest, you got to get there early because it's going to be mobbed. Because tonight is one of the last good nights, nice sunny nights that we're going to be having this fall, and you want to get there in plenty of time so you're not standing in line.
Oh, you can go inside.
So where is this?
At Crystalline Forest. It's about a mile up from the Five Corners. It's on the left-hand side.
On Forest Avenue.
On Forest Avenue.
Right here in Amsterdam, New York.
Yeah. So
Great pizza, huh?
24 flavors of soft ice cream in addition to vanilla and chocolate.
Yeah. And we're having our
Tomorrow.
soccer.
tomorrow, I'm thinking about getting lasagna. Is there any place to get a good lasagna tomorrow at any time?
Crystal Forest has got lasagna. Anything, they got spaghettis, they got the matzo balls. They got.
I was thinking about something where I can donate. Say, donate $10 to a organization.
Yeah. You can go down to not the Elks, Knights
The
of Columbus.
KFC.
Knights of
Columbus, yeah.
KFC, isn't that a chicken
Wow,
place?
is that lasagna dinner tomorrow already?
Tomorrow, West Main
The
Street.
lasagna dinner tomorrow. Jeff Stark right now has got sauce all over his face and on his apron.
They're making it-
And it's $10 for a nice homemade lasagna dinner with homemade bread and a nice salad to go with it.
What's
for
it for?
$10. How can you go wrong?
It's a fundraiser for what?
It's a fundraiser for the Knights of Columbus. It's their biggest fundraiser, so they can continue on rehabilitating the building they took over, and that's what it's for.
Oh,
Okay,
and that's it's the right weekend to have it too, because this is Columbus
That's
Day
right.
weekend.
Columbus Day weekend.
Yeah.
I'll bet they had something in mind when they thought of it.
I don't know if
I
they're
don't know.
that clever.
Jeff doesn't think that far.
He's not that clever.
You don't think so?
No, absolutely not. By the way, Jeff is a grandfather once again. Another male, masculine child. The
family's getting bigger.
Born to his daughter Melissa.
The Stark family's getting bigger.
Yeah, that's one of
I did. I seen that on Facebook. He's very proud grandpa. He is.
I'm
I
sure.
know that.
He keeps putting these kids to work.
Right now, I bet he's putting together some sauce and some meat sauce for tomorrow for this delicious
Yeah, I'll bet he
lasagna
is.
dinner that's going to be going on from 11:30 to 6 tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know what else I can offer. But
Hey, listen,
that's it, basically. And
if you happen to
Jeff's
go-
a good guy. If you don't like any lasagna or whatever, throw him a $10 bill anyway
Yeah,
for the
that's right.
building and all the good that he's been doing.
That's
There you
right.
go.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend because I'll be out of town. But be sure
in
to
the
send him my
Berkshires.
regards.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to send him the $10 now.
There you go.
All right, you shamed me.
Okay, guys, later.
Bye bye.
That's got to be good lasagna tomorrow, because they're making the sauce today.
Uh-huh.
So
the way to do it.
it'll age overnight, and you can't eat sauce the same day.
I made eggplant lasagna last week. Made the sauce ahead of time.
You gotta make it ahead of time.
Made eggplant lasagna because I can't eat the noodles anyway, and we're having my sister over, and she's gluten free, so we made the eggplant. I've had it 4 times, and I'm still not done with it.
Healthy portions.
I made so much. I can't believe it. Can't believe how much I made. There are only 4 of us.
I think Elaine's going to make a sandwich for me, so when I leave here, I got to get my grandson and take him home. So I'll probably have a sandwich in the car. I hope it's ready when I get home.
By the way, keep my sister in your prayers. She's having some major surgery coming up, and she's flying out to California next week to do the prep work for it. So, she's had a lot of health problems in recent years.
Really?
She's tough as nails. So,
She's the best looking member of the Going family, too.
well, that's what they all say. Yeah.
She's not working with very much.
We'll say a prayer for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fine young lady.
Yeah. She's a good egg.
Plant.
She's my favorite sister.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Everybody needs one.
Your only sister? Your only sister?
Oh, yeah, my only sister. Yeah, just like Laura's my favorite granddaughter. Louisa,
One of your daughters.
my younger daughter, was born on Dale's birthday, on January 5th. And we tried this once before. Anna was born on the 6th, early in the morning.
You're close.
So we got close the first time, but the second time around,
You got it.
So I, proud papa, I immediately start calling all my siblings. I got 4 answering machines, or 4 answering machines. I'm the 5th. Yeah, I got 4 answering machines. But when I got Dale's, I improvised. I said, "You've always been my favorite sister. I've always tried to please you. So from now on, you can share your birthday with your brand new niece, Louisa."
Very good, Bob. Very good.
Louisa's planning on a 3-hour half marathon, and according to the thing, the race is for 2.5 hours. But she's never gone this
That far?
far before. So we'll see. But Jamie hadn't either before he did his Ironman. That was the day he ran the farthest, biked the farthest, and swam the farthest he ever had in his life, the first time. Anyway, so she's encouraged. She's encouraged her family and friends to record things for her in MP3s that she's going to put on her iPod or something, as she's running. So there'll be words of encouragement. There's going to be music. There's going to that sort of thing. So I've included a couple of surprises for her. I won't tell you what they are because she's probably very likely listening to the program. But I think that's kind of a neat idea. So I started to say I was up at 3:30 this morning recording 35 minutes of music for her. So anyway, that's that strange.
A strange phone call.
Yeah, the one without a number. So anyway, what else is happening? We only got a couple.
We only got a couple minutes.
Yeah, got a minute and a half.
Yeah. All right. So. Let's see. So I'm annoyed about the fire department. I'm annoyed about the county thing. What else? What else was I annoyed about today?
Oh, I don't know. It's a beautiful day outside. You can't be annoyed about that.
No, I can't be annoyed about that. Yeah.
Did you see the moon?
I did not.
You're annoyed about the charter changes for the city?
Yeah, I'm annoyed about that. We're going to devote the next couple of weeks to ripping those apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vote no. Yeah.
We can spend a whole day doing those.
Just vote no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No.
Isn't there a song that starts out like that? No.
I don't know. Is there?
Yeah, there was one when we were kids. It was by the Kinks. I think it was.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, anyway, I guess that about does it for today.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what I'd do without these guys. I'd be talking to myself. Anyway, this has been the show with no name. I'm going with Gavin Murdoch and Jim Nicosia.
And we'll see them next week.
Next week,
either Monday or Tuesday.
Either
Monday at
10 or 11,
or Tuesday at 11, or don't set it down on your clocks. But when we show up, we'll be here. Just stay tuned to WCSS, and you can't miss us. All right, we're going to be on sooner or later.
That's right,
and
maybe even longer.
So we'll be back someday, sometime with more of the show with no name here on WCSS 1490 in Amsterdam, New York.